True.
We want to start with Friday.
Fair.
Where he did the night 2 at SoFi, and it was one for the ages. Like the live stream went out. I don't know if y'all watched it. I put the link out. But,
I tried, but it wouldn't work for me.
It didn't work?
Yeah.
Shit. Kanye's a problem with a live show, bro.
For sure.
Like, but the one we watched before where we couldn't really hear the audio, now you can hear it.
Oh, you can hear it, that one.
You can hear it. This is official audio. So this was the way you want to watch it.
I'm mad.
And then he brought Travis Scott out for the Father record. Again, these new songs from this Bully album sound amazing in a live environment. And he brought Lauryn Hill out. That's like the takeaway from the show. He brought Lauryn Hill out towards the end of the show. They did All Falls Down for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Amazing.
With the real sample back.
Yeah. And then Lauryn had like a small set of her own. She did a couple records. She brought her sons out to do some songs.
I can't take that no more.
Speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I love Lauryn Hill. That can do no wrong for me. I go to every Lauryn Hill show I can.
But
it's just, as much as I think Miseducation is an amazing album, one for the ages.
Sure.
It's been almost 30 years. There's only so many ways you can mix these songs. Like,
no, that's not true.
I'm just ready for something different.
She's giving you something different because she's doing a different version of this every time.
I don't want to hear the reggaeton version of X Factor. I want something different.
Yo, watch your tongue. Watch your tongue, yo.
I've come to terms with people being immortalized off one album.
Of course.
Like, I'm okay with it.
Me
If
too.
your album is
one of those,
is deserving of that, and it ain't but so many of them, Lauryn is on that list for me.
Yeah,
like watching her come out with Kanye, watching
Unplugged
her
was
do the
great, too.
Fuji shit, like watching it. Unplugged shit was fire.
Yeah.
But I'm totally fine with the Miseducation Lauryn Hill being immortalized.
Shit, that's where the All Falls Down sample comes from. So
I want to give props to the stage designer and the lighting guy, Oz Taylor from Baltimore. I had to look him up and find out who it was. That's how blown away I was by that stage and that lighting, everything about that. Outside of the music, Kanye, and every time he pops out like that, is one of the better visual artists that we've had in our lifetime.
For sure.
Regardless of how you feel about his psyche and his mental health.
Or other lifetimes. He's one of the best ever.
Ever.
Amazing artist.
No, that's when he's in his bag. That's when he's in his bag.
Yeah.
And I don't blame, not that I don't blame, but I could see people seeing that show, seeing what he did 3 nights in a row, and being like, you know what? Let's try it over here. Let's try it over here.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean? Let's try it over here.
With the Wireless
Festival
Festival in the UK.
But that was booked already before the show.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
a festival
that was
like this
booked
is
a
not
long
booked
time
last
ago.
minute,
Yeah,
but
Well, it ain't booked no more.
it ain't booked no more.
That's important. And just on the SoFi thing, like, it took everything I had in me to listen to the album. I could never buy a Kanye ticket. I support growth. I believe in forgiveness. I just don't think I haven't seen enough growth there for me to invest in a Kanye.
What could he do?
I don't know. I'd have to think it through. But I would need to at least see some consistency. You know what I mean? Right? Because to your point, apologies accompanied with merchandise and album rollouts to me is always a question mark. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I do think his mental health disclosure in the Wall Street Journal is true. All of that. But I need to see something else. I'm disturbed a little bit by how quickly we forgive, which is why I was so excited to see the Wireless Festival, although I have a thought on that too. It's like everybody's not forgiving him that much. You know, when they say, well, you're not even allowed in the UK.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because initially it was, when the festival was announced, the sponsors started pulling out. You had the Pepsi, it was 4 major sponsors.
Yeah.
Diageo, Pepsi.
Pepsi was the biggest one, though, right?
PayPal.
Diageo is also very big.
Yeah.
PayPal.
And there was a 4th one.
And there was another one.
Because Pepsi was like the official sponsor.
Yeah, I believe so.
So when they put their report out, it was like, oh,
So
damn.
you said that you were happy that they, what did you say, Mark?
I was happy to see the accountability and people stand up. I wish black people did that more. He was banned from the sponsors first said, hey, we're not rocking with this. I think there's some dishonesty there because clearly you don't book a festival with Kanye West unless you've already spoken to the sponsors ahead of time and cleared some stuff.
Well, there's a clip out now, an interview with the head of the festival who says, hey, before we even picked Kanye, we ran it by Pepsi.
Right.
Who okayed it. Right. They were okay. They knew we had Kanye as the headliner. They were okay with it.
Right.
And now, I guess amidst all the backlash they pulled out, Pepsi will have deniability. Could say, hey, I don't know, you might have talked to him. You ain't talked to this person, and he got to make the call.
Man,
So
Pepsi been on bullshit since Homeboy bought all of those Pepsi reward points and tried to buy
the fighter
airplane.
jet, the fighter jet, yeah.
And they ain't let him get the
Harrier
airplane,
jet.
man. Fuck out of here, Pepsi. Niggas ain't drinking no soda no more.
remember
Get
that.
that nigga's plane.
I'm on his side with that still.
Yo, he found a loophole.
Yup.
He won.
And they
Give it
ain't
to him.
answer it.
Anyway, fuck out of here, Pepsi.
What was the hoopla? I don't understand what you're saying. What was the controversy? I mean, besides Kanye, after Kanye apology, he did something else?
No, it's just-
Okay, yeah,
It's
so
just-
that from
it's just, we heard your apology, but we don't give a fuck.
We're not
okay.
over the Nazi stuff. We're not over the Hitler stuff.
70 things, and then you apologize, and then you do another 25 things, and you apologize. Some motherfuckers is like, yo, dog, I'm not beat for your
But then
apology.
let me ask you a question. So
Yeah, I
then-
have a question for
But
you,
I have
too.
a question. When white people do it and they're easily forgiven, do you hold the same sentiments that you have? Because like,
Yeah.
why would you be
Like who? Give me an example.
I don't. One of them white
The one that they're
people
using
go crazy.
right now online is the Tourette's dude.
Well, hold on, but
Is
what?
the Tourette's
Hold
dude.
on.
Yeah, like that's a good example. If you said next year at the Oscars, go ahead, Flip. I apologize.
No, Joe. This Joe. Go ahead. Answer this question.
That wasn't my question.
I think he was giving an example
He was
for
giving
your
an
question.
example for you.
So,
I forgot. What I was saying was, you still hold. I don't agree with you saying that I'm happy that these people took a stance against Kanye West. Because he's a black man. Number one, number two, we should be more open to people acknowledging that they had some issues and seeking the help. I do understand what you're saying, that it came with merch and it came with a rollout. I'm with you 100%.
But real quick,
I think the timing
this ain't the first time. That's my beef with Kanye.
Yeah.
If this the first time, okay, maybe I can give you benefit of the doubt. But if this is like the fourth or fifth time, I see the pattern here.
But to
and
me, it
now I
comes-
look at more than just.
Also, I think
Okay, this
I think
is
it's a
what you do.
timing thing. Like that was pretty recent that when we were here talking about the magazine.
It sounds different coming
article.
from Mark, though, because of what Mark stands for. To me, it sounds different coming from him because of what you stand for.
Well, I stand for justice. It just on some black shit. Which was my point. He said a whole bunch of anti-black shit, and I'm actually frustrated. As I said a few minutes ago, that black people don't stand on this harder. You know what I mean? Like I also stand against the anti-Semitism. I don't support anti-Semitism, and he said some things that are awful. The Nazi stuff, mentioning Hitler, who, by the way, don't fuck with black people either. So that's also anti-black. So there's all the levels to it, and I don't think it's okay for us to sweep it under the rug. I think what pisses me off is that none of these companies would have pulled out when he said slavery was a choice.
Right.
None of these countries, when he said, all the White Lives Matter stuff, when he was antagonizing black folk, none of these corporations would have pulled out. They are pulling out on this issue. I don't like that, but I'm consistent across the board.
So do you believe that he was suffering from he had a mental health issue?
I do.
And
I do.
now he's trying to get better.
You just believe that doesn't excuse anything.
I think it explains some of it, but also prior to, if we accept his timeline for the mental health issues, he said wild shit before that. And he said wild shit in the middle of
But he
that.
probably
But
was
I'm not
through that
going
then.
off his timeline. Why would I go off a sick person's timeline of their sickness?
What I'm saying is the only reason we know that he's sick is because he said, look, I'm dealing with this illness over this period of time.
I don't think that's true either.
But you can use this.
Wait, hold up a minute. That's not true.
I agree.
That is not the only way we know when somebody is sick. He has, before he ever, 10, 20 years, when his mom died.
Yeah. He ain't been right since.
And there's been mumblings of it. We didn't need him to come out and say, something's off about that guy. I say it every day when I see niggas.
That's true. That's fair.
Okay.
I agree with that point. I wasn't really saying anything different, but I
You
guess
saying that we won't know unless he says it.
I didn't mean that.
disagree with that.
I misspoke.
mean that
I didn't mean that literally.
Got it.
Obviously, I've been saying for years. Kim has said it. Other people have said it. There's no doubt Kanye's been dealing with issues. I guess what I'm saying is, if we take his apology on its face, maybe that's a better way of saying it. He's saying, I'm apologizing because this thing happened to me. I've been dealing with this stuff for this period of time. And I'm saying that if I accept him at his word, that ain't the only time he said fucked up shit. But even in the midst of that fucked up shit, I have to trust him. And I'm saying, give it some time.
I don't yet.
Yeah, not yet. There's give it some time.
Too soon.
Not just that.
Fair enough.
Even if you came to this realization that now I could publicly address my mental health issues, cool. If he would have done that a year and a half ago, then comes the new album, then comes this rollout, then comes all of these things, it's a little bit more tolerable.
It looks less cynical.
If you did this shit 2 months ago, you were already working on your album less than 2 months ago.
Yeah, the album was
you get
done
what I'm
then,
saying?
yeah.
So if
And
you
the
were
merch came out the
already
next
knowing
day.
that you were going to do these things, and now to it's like when a comedian gets in trouble, now they got to go back on the road. They got to address the fuck ups that they had. So now I'm gonna go address these fuck ups so I can hit y'all with this new shit, because I know people not gonna gravitate to it unless I apologize to the masses. It looks disingenuous.
Can I say something to you?
Sure.
Like I deal with family members that suffer from mental health issues and do things that's erratic.
I never guessed that.